yes. We would have loved to be in London this year again. It was such a great time we ever had at Masterpiece, and I still remember our presentations and the hall and the atmosphere. It was really great.
Yeah.
But next year, for sure.
Yeah. And Frankfurt as well, happy?
Yes.
Great. It's a lovely city. I was there a couple of years ago, and I enjoyed a really amazing winter fair there in the heart of Frankfurt, with all of the wine tasting, and it was a brilliant time.
Yeah. We love to be here. Frankfurt has a lot of wonderful museums, a good theater scene, and a lot of culture. And our gallery here, Die Galerie, is situated in the Frankfurt West End. It's one of the most beautiful parts of the city, with old houses, and right beneath the street there is a large park, and we have a palm garden, so a botanical garden around, and yeah, we love staying here.
Lovely. Well, this is going to be very simple and very quick. If you record on the other device, if you haven't already started, is the other phone recording?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
And is it long waves?
Yes.
Yeah, it's
yes, it is.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Okay, so we'll start with an easy one.
Yes.
Please could you introduce yourself and your goal at
Of course, with pleasure. My name is Elke Moore, and I'm art historian, working since more than 20 years here at Die Galerie. I'm responsible for every task here, curating exhibitions, organizing art fairs, exhibition in museums, in other art institutions, editing catalogs, and so on. Everything comes across my table. I am the gallery director, and Peter Femfert, the gallery owner, is currently traveling, so I take the opportunity to talk to you.
Wonderful. And tell me a little bit about the history of the gallery.
The gallery is very traditional and with a long history. Peter founded the gallery already in 1979. So we celebrated our 40th birthday a couple of years ago already. And when Peter started, he began with editing, graphic art and sculpture editions and so on from very famous and internationally recommended artists such as Valeria Adami. He did a large edition of Friedensreich Hundertwasser and worked with some Italian artists and so on. And middle of the 90s, he moved to this place here in the center of Frankfurt. And since then we have a very regular exhibition program with a very, very high level. We do around 5 exhibitions a year, besides our other exhibitions and art shows and so on, and fairs and yeah, a lot of other activities.
Wonderful. And how do you sum up, or how do you explain what you specialize in? What do you look for in the pieces that you acquire?
We here in the gallery go two ways at the same time. On the one hand, we are working with modern classics, so art from the 20th century. We have a strong focus on the art of surrealism. Had already a lot of exhibitions with André Masson, who is one of our main artists, also Max Ernst, as well as Jean Dubuffet as well. We had a nice Picasso exhibition last year, and other classic artists. Another focus we have is on the art of the CoBrA group. You know, CoBrA is one of the artist movements right after World War II who joined and came together for leaving the war behind them and for practicing a new kind of art. Artists such as Karel Appel and Pierre Alechinsky and Oscar Jorn were members of this group, and this group only existed for 3 years, but the impact they had on later generations generations of artists was very, very strong. So we are working with Karel Appel, with Oscar Jorn, who we had exhibited a couple of years ago, and also other members. Peter himself was a close friend to Corneille, whom he visited a lot in Paris until his death in 2010. So this art movement is very important to us. Besides that, but we are also working as a gallery with a contemporary program. We show exhibitions of young artists. Yeah, our young artists are a little bit older. They are partly painters from the former GDR, as our current show of Volker Stelzmann, for example, is, and of Johannes Heisig. But we also have an eye on informal art and on abstract art from international artists such as Karl Otto Goetz, the German one, Alain Clément, a French artist, Max Ackermann, a pioneer of the abstraction in Germany of the 20th century, and a lot of others. At the moment we are showing Herbert Mähler, who's a sculptor who does abstract sculptures in corten steel. We have a show here in the gallery, as well as in the university campus of Goethe University, which is very close, where we show currently 18 of his monumental pieces. It's an amazing show, and our website provides some images of this. This is really, really spectacular. Nice to see. You should come.
I would love to. That sounds fantastic. And tell me, can you introduce some of the pieces you'll be showcasing on Masterpiece Online?
Of course I do, with pleasure. As a first piece, I have chosen a plaster, unique piece of Marino Marini, the Italian sculptor of 20th century, who is very, very famous with his horse and horse rider sculptures. We intended to show the plaster Cavaliere, which was created in 1947. This is the medium period of the artist, where he already has developed his style of depicting those horses, but at that time he turns to show them in a movement which in the later years he more and more developed, and he brought them to bursting horses who are running and who are defending themselves in an imaginary war. Of course, the World War impressions were one of the inspirations for this, but another very, very strong impression for Marino Marini was the art of the Etruscans, where horse figures were very popular, and you find wonderful pieces. The horse and the rider has a long, long tradition in art history, and fantastic pieces you only remind in the Marc Aurel in Rome, and on Bamberger Reiter, which we have here in Germany. So there are great horse riders in art history, and Marino Marini continued with the subject. Oh, now I can't hear you anymore, sorry.
Fantastic. And what else will you be bringing?
Excuse me, I did not get it.
Sorry, is there anything else that you're showcasing at Masterpiece?
Yes. Another piece we showcase is the painting Begging Children by Karel Appel. You remember I told you about CoBrA, and Karel Appel was one of the protagonists and the I would say the strongest figure in this movement, and he had a very, very good career, international career. The painting Begging Children, which we show, is one of the real CoBrA pieces. It was painted in 1984, so at the beginning of the group, and it was, how can I say, it is a very, very special piece because of the history. It comes from a very famous collection, from the Stuyvenberg collection, which is famous for CoBrA and has a long exhibition history as well. The painting shows a scene which Karel Appel watched during a journey he did when, after the World War, he traveled from Amsterdam, where he lived, to Denmark. So the Danish CoBrA members had invited him, and he took the train to get to Denmark. And traveling by train, he passed the German area where he watched, at the railway stations, he watched children, very, very poor and hungry children, and he shows them in those black signs and figures. So these are the signs for the begging children. He brings everything in the very strong red and green contrast with the black strokes. But behind this scene is fantastic. You have to have a close look on it. There's another level because Karel Appel scratched into the wet oil color, and below this level there's another scene. Here you can see the sky, you can see trees, birds, and a very, very sunny and lovely future, which Karel Appel had as a vision at that time. So that's the reason why this is a really special and fantastic piece.
I need to see it.
Yes, yes, you will see this for sure.
You'll send me some images so I can
Yes.
see the film. But I'm really intrigued.
Yes, yes.
And do you have one more?
You want to hear about another piece? Of course. As another piece we selected Lucio Fontana, the world famous Italian artist who became famous because he destroyed the canvas. You know, he did a lot of paintings with scratches. You can find them everywhere on the art market, but he also did this system with holes. And in a third period, these are different period of his work. So the one is the Bucchi period, the other is the Tagli, the slice period, and the third one is the Olii period. And our piece is one of these very rare pieces because here he painted with oil color, and he destroyed the canvas and then painted the whole with a big pesto of oil, so it got three-dimensional on the surface and three-dimensional looking through the hole. The reason why Fontana developed these pieces and this destroying canvases is because he wanted to see what's behind the reality of a canvas or a painting. So it's a metaphysical approach to the process of creating art. And our piece is a very rare green with a very, very strong green color. We love it very much. Hope you too.
Fantastic. It's so nice to see and hear about Fontana's other work.
Yes.
The slashes.
Yes.
I really am amazed how many I've seen now. And everyone loves, his work and seeing it. So I'd be very interested to see a different.
Yes. This is a very special piece.
Yeah, fantastic. And that's great. That's 3 pieces that I put together, which is.
Yes, if you like. I have a third one if you want to.
Oh,
yes. Okay, so this is the latest one we showed. It is a bronze sculpture by Igor Mitorai. Igor Mitorai is a Polish, born in Poland, a very international famous artist, in London he has wonderful bronzes and sculptures at the Canary Wharf. He has bronzes at La Défense in Paris. Of course, he is present in Italy on a lot of places. Very well known and always recognizable because he has a very emphasizing style. His subjects he took. Unfortunately, he died. He passed away a couple of years ago, quite young, with the age of 70. He took his ideas from ancient Greece culture and from ancient Roman sculpture, and copied, not really copied them in his very special way, because he always turned them into fragments, but very aesthetical fragments, beautiful pieces, which show the ideal of beauty, but at the same time he shows that the beauty has gone and has passed, and so his art is at the same time classical and citing the ancient Greece, but at the same time very modern, because transferring them, and he also puts abstract applications on his sculptures, or he bounds on the heads with fabrics, and yes, it's a very his art is going to our heart, and it's very how you call it?
I think he goes very romantic.
Yes.
He gets to make these beautiful, especially the heads.
Yes.
I always think of him with the heads that look like first century Roman.
Yes.
Godlike men.
Yes.
Always in that beautiful sort of pose.
Yes, that's
and
right.
The time and the modern ability to make them absolutely perfect.
Yes.
But, even the way it's deconstructed is perfectly balanced.
That's right.
Yeah, it's so romantic.
Yes, he's really romantic, and he's emphasizing and taking the hearts. He also does those sculptures in really huge sizes, so it's amazing to see them. We have chosen a piece which is which fits in wonderful living rooms or foyers, and it's not that big.
So tell me more about the pieces in particular.
The particular piece we show, yes, the particular piece we show is called Luna Nera, the black moon, and it's a perfect, a wonderful black head sculpture as a fragment, with closed eyes, closed lips, in a very smooth and polished surface. It is distanced and it is moving at the same time.
Wonderful, thank you very much. That's
Yeah.
fantastic. Just out of interest, is Black Moon quite big, or is it?
It is about 90 centimeters in height.
Oh, okay.
So.
Is it light of the moon? Light of the moon? I know it's big, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Fantastic, thank you very much. And how important, because you speak very eloquently about each of the pieces and the artists, how important is it for you, personally as gallery director, to choose pieces that have a story, rather than just being beautiful or a good example of an artist, but have a story about it?
Oh, we do a lot of researches for the stories of the pieces, and we mainly are working with the artists themselves, and we're sometimes with the heritage, and so we have best provenances for such sculptures, because they are first hand. And we took a lot of effort in having really good pieces and the best even of our artists. So, but I can assure that those pieces are very good.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. It's actually just being able to speak about the masterpiece cross, you talk about cross-collecting and building a kind of, the collector would build a perfect room that maybe had, a castle on the wall.
Yes.
Or an Bible and sculpture in the corner. And every piece has a little story.
Yes.
Beyond its beauty.
Yes.
And my last question is really, what kind of a year has it been? Because it's been a very difficult 18 months for many people. How has it been for your gallery? And have you made changes in that time?
Yeah. We missed the art fairs. We miss Masterpiece and all the other art fairs we are participating at in Miami and in Seoul and in Brussels and Cologne and so on. But we are still, and throughout the whole year, we made our exhibitions here in Frankfurt at Die Galerie with more or less guests inside, sometimes from time to time without any guests. But we developed a very good virtual presentation. We do 3D walks in our gallery. We did videos about our shows, and we have a social media channels, we did podcasts, and this helped us coming through the time. And now we hope will be getting better. Only yesterday, the day before yesterday, we had an opening of a new show, and we had around 50 guests here in the house, and it was fantastic. But we tried to get through the difficult time, which was difficult, of course, but we did a lot, and we are not unsatisfied. It was a chance for development, and we took the chance, and so that was also a learning, and I think this learning will stay, and we will take new paths also in the art market and in mediating art, and so I think a good part of this experience will stay.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I think a lot of people have I'm talking to 50 odd gallery owners, and most people say a similar story. It's pushed us to become more online, build our audience digitally.
Yes.
I think our gallery, just from the changes in your website, the Artland three-dimensional
Yes.
360.
Yes.
You've got your Instagram logo, your podcast logo, your Artsy logo, your Facebook logo. I mean, it's really
Yes.
gone
Yes.
wild. Congratulations.
Yes.
Make the
Yes.
most of it.
Yes. And our clients appreciate this. It's also a way to stay in touch with our foreign clients, because not for every show the foreigners will come to Frankfurt, and so it is a little bit easier to connect and to stay in touch with the foreign clients. So it's also, it's good.
Well, that's it for me. Thank you so much for your time. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Don't know. I thank you very much, David, and it was a real pleasure to talk to you, and to hopefully see you next year.
Absolutely. I look forward to it. We'll
Yes.
be back to normal next year.
Yes. Congratulations for your initiative with this online version, and we are very curious to see.
Thank you very much. We'll try what we can. Thank you, and thank you very much for taking the time to video it as well.
Thank you very much to Caroline, she helped me.
Thank you, Caroline. I look forward to seeing that soon, and I'll edit it all up with some images. Please do send me lots of images.
Yeah, and if you have any additional question or something like this, let us know. We are here.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, David. See you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
See you.
Bye.